Hello. I tried to take a 2 hour nap. I was so sleepy and so exhausted and tired, and I didn't even really do much physical activity or strenuous activity. And so I had leftover black eyed peas and rice and a small little cup of pineapples and called it dinner. But for breakfast, I had I got one pack of those Pop Tarts, the pumpkin flavored, addictive pumpkin flavored Pop Tarts left. And tomorrow I think I'm gonna eat breakfast. Oatmeal and peanut butter for breakfast tomorrow. Well, yeah. So, or I might just eat the oatmeal and with the coconut oil in it, not the peanut butter, because I want to try to get me some. I have my coconut oil here, and I haven't been. I think I only used it like once. I consumed it like once since being here. So earlier today, I ordered pizza and a salad, a big salad, and so it was $8.99 for, I don't know what size it was. It was 8 slices. I guess it was a large. And so since I have a roof over my head temporarily, I was able to put that in the refrigerator, and you know I can stretch it for a couple of days. So and then tomorrow I'm planning to eat some of the salad and the pizza. And the salad is a big one, and it costs $7.99. Today was the day I was exhausted and tired and just didn't feel the energy to go out. I'm not lazy, but I just was too beat down and exhausted and tired and didn't feel the energy to go out to fake Walmart or, well, Publix. You have to. Well, I could take a long walk, but it's it's kind of difficult because not the whole entire road, like going towards Publix, doesn't have sidewalks. So, and plus those shoes I have, those Reebok shoes, um, I'm disappointed that they're not as comfortable as I thought that they were going to be. You know how they seem comfortable off the surface, and when you try them on at the store and walk around in them, and everything seems fine, but after you walk around in them for a while, that's when they're not as comfortable. And they try to, give me corns on my feet and stuff. I'm like, I bought the wrong shoes. So I guess people weren't really helping me out. Only two people throughout the whole 4 months have helped me out a little bit, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it on Instagram, but I was getting some financial help from people on Twitter, but it looks like as if I have since I shut everything down except YouTube, now I'm getting less financial help. And so I see that there's a hurricane brewing. What's that? I think is it called Hurricane Zeta? That's planning on it's planning on supposed to go to the path towards, like, between Louisiana and Florida, the path of what it looks like, because it might turn or change or whatever. So I'm supposed to be um, checking out of the hotel and back on the streets on Halloween Day. And also, um, this topic I wanted to talk about: blacklisted, homeless, targeted individuals and panhandling/begging. Excuse me. So I was always wondering how people who get a job, people who've been in jail or prison can get a job. Oh wow, flies, gnats. They can get a job as soon as possible. More and more people say that if you're considered a mental patient or more like a lifelong mental patient, then your basic human rights are gone. Being in foster care and all that, I guess because your basic human rights are gone when you're in foster care as well. Because they never read me my rights when I was in foster care. But after I turned 18 and I saw the newer social workers they read the foster boys their rights. And so I said, well, wow, nobody read me my rights when I was in foster care. And the foster mom got mad and yelled at me and forced me to go upstairs. And I was a grown woman, an adult. So nobody read me my rights. And as I told y'all, the foster mom acting like she would prophesize me to grow up to be a homeless, a prostitute, a drug addict, crazy, whatever. And those are the false rumors and lies that are spread about me. Well, except I am homeless by no fault of my own. And the foster mom used to tell me, Candy, let me tell you something. There are going to be plenty of days you're going to have plenty of days of being broke. Like she just foreknew in advance. And some people call that witchcraft and word curses. Now, a targeted friend of mine said that on our graduation picture, that the foster mom had her hand over her heart like this. All those times I saw that picture, and they said that this is a Masonic salute. And they sure did used to make us put our our right hand over our heart in school. So I guess that might be my confirmation right there. And they said that we look like we can genetically be her kids. So society looks down on homeless, even if you're not begging. They look down on and just hate homeless, even if you're clean. So in a lot of situations, it's hard to conceal your homelessness. And a lot of times you're deprived of everything. So, people tell me I'm not ungrateful for the $800. But, I don't like how controlling they are with my Social Security that I never asked for in the first place. And I said before, I've always wanted to be independent and work and have my own job. And they've been blocking me since my senior year in high school. First job, workplace mob, so bad. And I'm pretty sure it happens too, but I didn't know. I'm the only underage or 17-year-old person who I know that was, a victim of workplace mobbing and gang stalking, stuff like that. So a lot of people look down on and judge a person that's a beggar. And for years, I have been falsely accused of being lazy and not wanting to work. Or the famous stop stealing our tax dollars and go get a job. But then those same people say nobody's going to hire you. Narcissistic abuser be like, they cut their eyes and be like, nobody's going to hire you. you know. So God knows and he sees what's going on. So, I mean, I did read a few scriptures about how begging is a sin, but I think it's your attitude and your heart about it. And I'm not doing this in vain and trying to, um, you know, because it's like there have been times like, that it's like a lot of us target individuals. If I was lazy and didn't want to work, why did I go to college and had just a whole bunch of just dreams that got shattered? If I didn't want a job, why did I go to college? They said that over 50% of targeted individuals have at least a bachelor's degree, a college degree. And people used to act like they prophesied that I wasn't going to make it to college or wasn't going to make it through college, despite my high school 3.7 average. I was in the top 10% of my high school class. But y'all sitting there just prophesizing my failure, predicting my failure, my future failure in life. So they had that website called Squat the Planet. I'm gonna put the link down below along with some other reminder links below to talk about the connection between being homeless and being targeted. And the elite and the government, they view us they view us Americans as useless eaters. And they hoard. Who's the greedy one here? Nobody. People aren't attacking the elite for their greed and covetousness and hoarding. Nobody's condemning them about their sin. But they want to try to, and a lot of people these days, it's like they feel like, well, begging is wrong. So they condemn, but nowadays, if a person condemns some people about begging, it's we live in a selfish world nowadays, where in the Bible prophesies about people would be without natural affection and being lovers of their own selves, and people are loving and worshiping themselves too much. And so for selfish motivation, it's the motivation is behind not to condemn you or to convict you of your sin and make you feel like you did something. I mean, to convict you of any sin and make it like as if you're wrong. But their motivation of saying, "Oh, she begging" or whatever, it's their arrogance and think they're better and looking down on you. Because they sold their souls and don't have to beg. They're set for life and don't have, but they're going to hell. So, also the beggar Lazarus in the Bible, he wasn't looked at as a sinner. And for all we know, he could have been a targeted individual, but he was in Abraham's bosom and went to heaven, while the rich man, was begging for water in hell, thirsty. So, us being in foster care and dealing with the foster mom was like a rich man and Lazarus kind of situation, if you get what I mean. If you go look Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31, I think, about the rich man and Lazarus. The 6-day-old noodles old stale cooked noodles or rice. Like the foster mom used to force us to. She didn't even care if the rice was spoiled and had blue mold growing on the rice, and she still used to force us to eat that. Or if the rice was, oh man, or had black mold, or it just made me want to vomit just to. And I just had rice, but it wasn't old. But it made me want to vomit just to think about it. That rice or 6 day old noodles, kind of the same way. Like if you had noodles 6 days ago and you have leftover and put it in the fridge, you'll be forced to eat that while they sitting there force you to peel shrimp, and then just for them to eat, and you get a brutal beating, or you get like just punished for asking, can you have some too, when you were forced to peel their shrimp for them. So either you get a brutal beating or just get yelled at or get something taken away from you, like allowance, or get punished or some kind of way. Or while they can have shrimp and steak. And I was 22 years old, living underneath the foster mom, and still be treated this way. Have to peel 30 pounds of shrimp all by myself, just for everybody to eat except me. So people need to, stop judging and condemning other people, and stop judging your story, and you don't even know, my history or my story. And some people say everybody has a story to tell. I mean, I know other foster kids may have gotten treated worse, but that doesn't mean that I don't have a right to speak out on my experiences and my stories. I remember the foster mom's husband, Mr. Terry, sit there and condemn me and got mad at me because he forced me to peel shrimp one night, and he was frying frog legs, and he got mad and punished me. I don't remember what the punishment was, but he got mad and punished me for asking, well, can I try a frog leg, and just to see what it tastes like. So I wonder, what did I do so wrong? So they treated us like total fucking slaves in foster care, but they didn't use us as sex slaves, but they treated us like cleanup slaves, or and we were like as if I was your errand girl, like forced to do favors for you, and I was not allowed to. Like I would get the silent treatment for a whole year from the foster sister Shelley. For example, if I refuse to go fix her a cup of water or something, you can go get. But if I say, "Oh, can you do this for me?" You go do it yourself. And that's why I have a problem with authority figures, or bossy people who don't have authority. Or I have a problem with human authority nowadays because of my upbringing, and then to be over 18 and to have to be told what to do by 10-year-olds. I'm 37 years old. I had to do what an 8-year-old child tells me to do because that 8-year-old child supposedly has more common sense than I do. I don't know of other adults who have to live like that. And if I'm considered disabled, why you blame me for being the way I am? So, that Squat the Planet website, they give survival tips on how to survive as a homeless person, but they even have some sinful things to do. But I mean, like doing unethical things for money and stuff like that, which I won't do. And so but I got banned from their website for talking about my targeting in this relation to homelessness. So I wonder if God will have mercy on us being blacklisted, homeless, disabled, targeted individuals who have it in our hearts to want to work. And I remember, when that Native American guy at the Grand Canyon used it against me and threw it in my face, saying that I'm stealing everybody's paycheck and that I'm making excuses to not work, which was not true. With my disability, they tell me I work too slow, and them rushing me and make me more nervous and less functional. So when I just recently, I don't even remember retweeting that. But I don't. I screenshot and I just came across it. I think it was yesterday that somebody told me on Twitter. I don't remember how long ago it was. They told me, but somebody told me that I said, well, I'm disabled. People say I work too slow. And so they say, yes, typical work. They said something about typical workplace mobbing. Um, so when I was at working, my first day at Popeyes, before I started any work, they had me working, start off, I was 17 years old. They had me start off 6 hours a week. And then oh man, they used to manipulate me and abuse me so bad and freaking got away with it. And then they end up firing me. So before I started working, my first job, this lady who trained me to prep the biscuits and the side orders and stuff, she kept on repeating me, telling me before I even started working, you're slow, you're slow, you're slow. Because you have to do this because you're slow, or they give you small hours because you're slow. Before I even started working, it was after I clocked in, but the lady was explaining this and explaining that to me before I started the hands-on work, and I was washing had to wash the dishes and prepare the side orders, working in the back where I can't be seen. And the foster mom and the foster brother-in-law, Brian, greedy dykes, Brian, and they would try to bully, harass, and lecture me about how nobody's gonna hire me or how I would get fired the first day and stuff. And so then the foster mom used to tell me that I was in my senior year in high school, and she used to try to tell me, you look homeless, you look dirty, you look homeless, and if I and she said that I wouldn't want to buy, and she would repeatedly drill that in my head and say it repeatedly over and over again, to always at every opportunity say that she wouldn't want to buy, that she wouldn't want to buy food from me if she had to be a customer. She wouldn't want to buy food from me and stuff like that. But I was overly clean and had OCD that she manufactured. So I'm uploading another video on my phone, but it's taking a while. So that's why, and I knew that this topic that I'm doing is taking longer than 15 minutes. I'm at 24 minutes right now. So I knew this topic was going to be long. So that other video is like 13 minutes or something. I don't remember. But I knew this topic was going to be long. And it's like my conscience is nagged and I feel bad that I don't want to be evil. God knows our abilities and limitations. And people say that the church should be helping people, not the government. The body of Christ should be helping each other. But too many selfish, stingy people nowadays. And I remember when, let's see, let me think. Okay. When I was in high school, I used to beg for like $1 for something to eat because the psychiatric medications used to make me extra hungry and make me. I wasn't considered diabetic. They used to tell me my blood sugar was low. I mean, my blood sugar was normal, but I used to get weak and shaky and extra hungry, and so I would ask for $1 or something for a Snicker because the snacks or whatever would cost 50 cents, and I would get like a Sprite and a Snicker. I didn't know the truth when I was younger. I would get a Sprite and a Snicker, or I might get some Doritos and a Snicker for So then, when I was going to Nicholls State University, that was the first college I went to, and I don't think I remember panhandling or begging, but the foster mom, I had came into all that money, and the foster mom took it all. It wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was a few $1,000s. The foster mom, she stole my Social Security back paycheck, my money that I worked for. Like my senior year in high school, I was forced to give the foster mom hand over all my checks. I was forced to hand over all my checks my senior year in high school, and they used to screw me over with my money. And then my money that I worked for, I had some money saved up, and I was 18 or 19. I think I was 18, and I was going to Nicholls, and the foster mom got mad and screamed at me and said, "What? You wasn't supposed to touch that money!" And I'm like, "What do you mean? It's money I worked for." And then me and her got into a heated argument about it, And then I would, like, I was 18 or 19 years old going to Nicholls, and the foster mom would be driving in the car or something. And so then she'd be like, and my twin sister and her husband Dwayne used to make fun of it. "Candy, how much money you got in the bank?" They used to give me $203 in SSI and $365 for Social Security. Guess which check the foster mom took for herself? She took the big one, the $365, and left me with the $203. And then she tried to get mad at me and scream at me when I was going to, I think I was new at UNO after I transferred, University of New Orleans. And so she got mad at me and yelled at me and told me that the 360, well, it was up, the money went up a little bit. And she told me that the $367 was not my income. And so I had a confused look, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And so me and her, like, I was 18 and 19 years old, and me and her were always constantly arguing and fussing over my money. That shouldn't have had to happen. If I'm a grown ass woman and you're the foster, not biological mom, and I'm not allowed the right to fight for my own money. So, and the foster mom picked arguments with me for justification in keeping all my money. And she threatened to take and spend my money on the foster boys. And on purpose, just to make me mad, she took and let them spend, in front of my face, spend my Social Security back pay money. Because I had just got that Social Security back, that lump sum money from Social Security. And she encouraged the foster boys to spend whatever they wanted in front of my face. And I was 18 years old and 19 and not allowed to choose what kind of clothes I want, choose my own kind of clothes I want to wear. They wanted to control what I should wear as a grown adult. So, we were constantly arguing and fighting over my money. And I remember when some of my money I tried to ask the foster mom for my sophomore year in college. Well, I think I still had some freshman hours, but I was declared a sophomore. My second year going to Nicholls State University. And the foster mom drove off and ignored me, and I bust out crying. And everybody was trying to figure why was I crying. That drove off and ignored the shit out of me. This woman was fucking cold. And so then, us growing up, she brainwashed us to be cold hearted and mean. And I had to realize that's not the way to go. That we have to have some compassion and love, and not be just cold hearted and cruel and just leave somebody hanging or leave somebody for dead. That's the way she taught us. So basically, I'm trying to undo that programming myself. You already rich and taken from somebody who's disabled, poor, and homeless. Well, I wasn't homeless at that time, but I tried Rouse's, Subway, the coffee shop, and quite a few other jobs when I was going to Nicholls State University, and they tried to block me from working, and nobody wanted to hire me. And then I was even being gang stalked and targeted at Nicholls State University, because even the foster mom, even when I was going to Nicholls State University, the foster mom had everybody, all the dorm room girls, stalk and spy on me and order me around and tell me what to do and then report everything back to her. And they were all in on it. So, and this stuff is what I would have written in my book. This kind of stuff, because this is me telling my life story. And I don't care if it's telling all my business, because all you perps y'all know all about me anyway. So I'm just venting, getting stuff off my chest. So, even when I was going through college and stuff, I don't think I was panhandling or begging. And then, but I had to beg in Costa Rica when I went to Costa Rica with no money. And that's another long story. But eventually my financial aid came later on. And nobody really wanted to help me out. But I didn't have any money and I was in Costa Rica. But then my financial aid came later on. That was stupid. Fly, come on. But that was stupid that they sent, like, the financial aid didn't come till later. I didn't understand that. So I struggled with that too. And so then when I was living in Milwaukee, I had my car, and it was after Hurricane Katrina. My relatives using and taking advantage of me and perping me. And the whole time I was in Milwaukee, I don't think I ever begged for money. And then, but when I was in New York, that short time, the only time I tried to beg for money was when after I was with that that Dominican scam family in Harlem. I don't even remember how long I stayed there, for like a couple of weeks or so. I don't remember how long I stayed there. And that guy, he scammed me out of $80, so I was left with no choice but to panhandle and beg. And and so in New York, I don't think I even looked homeless. But the rich, proper white people who were like very busy, I don't even have to ask for money, but they would brick wall and ignore me and walk off really fast when I'm asking for not money, but asking for directions, and forbidding to even open my mouth to ask for directions on where is this, where is that, where to go. So after that, that I was in that mental health shelter, I wasn't begging or panhandling. And when I was living in Denton, Texas, for 4 years, I don't think I was panhandling or begging at all. I didn't have a reason to. But even though my money was low and I was struggling really hard, and but you end up spending less money when you do have like you spend less money on food when you have a place to live and food to cook and stuff like that. when you go do your grocery shopping, it is, excuse me, less expensive than eating out every meal. But I did that video talking about how narcissistic abusers and gang stalkers manipulate targeted individuals into being forced to spend more money or waste more money. And so when I was living in Los Angeles, I think I remember for a short time I was, but it didn't last long. Maybe for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I don't remember. That I didn't know where all the food banks were, and then I eventually found some of the food banks. But I was panhandling for money for food and bus fare, but it wasn't much though. Maybe like I would ask for like $2 or $5 or something for food, but that didn't last long. And then I got my place, and I was living off the food banks, and um, I was living off the food banks, and from after July 2012 or something, I didn't from then on to 2015, I didn't have a reason to panhandle or beg. And so living in Greenville, South Carolina, um I didn't beg or panhandle. I don't think I ever, even when I was on the streets, homeless on the streets for 9 days, I don't remember panhandling or begging. But yeah, I think I did. I did. But but then once I got in that shelter, I didn't need to, and then I got my place, and I didn't need to. But yeah, I did for within the first 9 days. I think I did panhandle. I forgot. So then when I lived back in New Orleans in 2017, I was financially struggling and living off of five something a month, and then had all those bills like and then extra installation fee or whatever deposit I was forced to pay on electricity bill and stuff like that. So and then Donald Trump had did the what do you call that, the when Donald Trump took out for Medicare Part B, and I was financially struggling so hard. And then only one time I panhandled and begged for 75 cents, and nobody wanted to help me just for 75 cents for bus fare. And then the man got rude and said, "Do not beg, do not beg." And then he said something rude to me. And so um and then I tried to ask, like, I needed, that was when I was homeless I mean, I wasn't homeless. I meant to say when I had that place and I was sleep deprived for 18 days, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room, and I couldn't make it to walk. Of course, I couldn't make it to walk to the hospital. I was trying to not call the ambulance, and the bus driver and nobody really wanted to help me. That I came on the bus and I asked for financial like bus fare, just enough money for bus fare to get me down um down the street to the hospital, and I didn't want to call the ambulance, and I ended up having to call them anyway. And when me ending up feeling like I think I'm dying of a heart attack, and feeling like I'm dying of a heart attack, and then they doing EKG on me and tell me that I have the best EKG they've seen all day. Oh, you had the best EKG we've seen all day. So and they had me fearful, like all the sleep deprivation they did to me, sleep deprivation torture. They had me fearful that I was gonna die of a heart attack. and then they would use noise harassment with the sirens. You know how not the normal sirens, but the over exaggerated ones that sound like woo 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 woo, make you more scared than the normal sirens. I mean, that was frightening and traumatizing. That they had the paramedics and then the ones that go woo 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 woo, like, and then it makes me even more panicky and more fear, and that's not a good feeling. So then between uh I guess after November everything was normal, and I tried what I can to work temp service here and there and tried a cab driving job that didn't work out and stuff like that. And I had my place. I was cooking my own food, going to the food banks, and I was content with what I had. And so then it was 2000, July 31st, 2018 was when I ended up becoming homeless, and I was trying to be a cab driver. And if I would have been successful with that, I wouldn't have had to be homeless or beg or anything like that. And people warn me that that's a dangerous job as a female. But I see a lot of females cab drivers. So why am I the only stupid one? So then, um, I don't remember panhandling or begging in 2018 until when I was in Los Angeles and I was at the beach in Santa Monica and they stole everything from me. And I was waiting on my check from the Grand Canyon. And then, I had to panhandle and beg every day. And what I used it on was basic necessities. I mean, I didn't even get to live in a hotel or a motel at all. And I was sleeping on the beach I was sleeping, not every night, because some nights I was forced to stay awake, and it was getting too cold to be on the beach. So I would ride the buses all night, and then transfer and ride the buses and trains all night. And they used to be extra physically abusive and rude to me if I accidentally dozed off on the buses or trains. But I saw other homeless people sleep, and they didn't say anything. But I heard that something about you can get arrested for sleeping on the buses and trains or whatever. But I try to force myself to stay awake and in order to avoid being arrested. And so it was really frightening, scary. But people are that cold that they don't give a damn if you end up going to jail being homeless. And they say the streets is no place for a single female, but the jail or prison isn't either, especially if you committed no crime. It's a crime to exist as a homeless person. And so, the very same people who condemn another person about begging, y'all just as sinful for being judgmental, and just as sinful for gossiping and snickering and laughing and stuff like that. So I think it's more like your attitude and and what's in your heart. And I don't think God would judge or condemn you if you're homeless and begging. And if you use it on basic necessities, I don't think he would judge you for that, especially if he knows that you're blacklisted. Blacklisted is crazy, and I didn't ask for to be in foster care in a cult and forced to see a psychiatrist and take medicine. They said that psychiatric stigma will follow you everywhere you go for the rest of your life. And being like a mental patient, you're blacklisted from employment, can't get a job anywhere, and they're making like you crazy and dangerous. But then you're forced to, and I was trying to work even I was trying to go to school and work in New York. Wasn't allowed to. They literally told me that I was not allowed to work and forced me against my will to go to these fake ass evil mental health programs. How insulting that I just got my bachelor's degree, just got my college degree, and they think that you it's like I got my college degree and they think that you um being at the mental health groups or whatever, how insulting. I got a bachelor's degree and I'm forced against my will, forced to do to do first grade math on a computer all day long. And that's what they call bettering your mental health. It's fucked up. And they would not allow me to work, would not allow me to get married, get pregnant, have kids. I was not allowed to do any of that. They told me that I was not allowed to work. And in that housing program in Brooklyn that I didn't last long at, that roommate was going to kill me. And they put me in a mental hospital and not her. And they didn't even arrest her or put her in jail. And she was an alcoholic and she kept repeatedly pulling knives on me. And when I posted about it on the MySpace blog and other places, people falsely accused me of lying for attention. Even my own family laughed behind my back and falsely accused me of lying for attention to justify not giving a fuck about me. And so, with ghetto narcissistic abusers and other narcissistic abusers, it seems like they have a never-ending revenge against you for petty ass, the smallest shit that they try to destroy and kill you. So, let me read to y'all. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but let me show you this. So, wow, okay. So look, this tropical storm Zeta right here. It's supposed to hit. This is its path right here. So, um, look. So, hold up. So look what this says. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's stars 15K. You say you won't accept evil money. Please refund my $10. Since you have decided I am evil, save your soul. This woman she already said a perp comment at me last year. I don't remember. I think it was last year. And so I blocked her. And then next thing you know, she said, "Oh, I didn't know that you were going through whatever struggles or whatever." And so then I forgot to unblock her. You know, well, she said, "I'm sorry you're going through whatever. I didn't know you were going through whatever struggles." Then she sent me $10, and then I forgot to unblock her, and so then she started with the total harassment, and never-ending revenge and following me around everywhere on social media, everywhere online, and trying whatever like you want me to keep my name. I mean, you want me to keep your name out of my mouth, But I'm not even on Twitter anymore, and you're still tweeting at me, really. So, as I said, other targeted individuals, I don't see them getting condemned for begging or being a constant beggar or whatever. When I use the money um, that on the streets, I'm forced to spend more money or waste more money. Um, the fact that I can't go to soup kitchens because being threatened with knives and people smoking around me, coughing on me. I don't want bed bugs and other reasons like I don't want to be arguing with homeless people 3 times a day. And I'm not allowed to have food in my storage unit, not even a canister of salt. And so I'm forced to eat out, but I try to keep the meals between $5 and $10 most of the time. And but if I had a place to live, I can go to food banks, and I don't know if I would get higher food stamps. I didn't renew my food stamps because they only give you $15. So I'm not gonna be abused really bad by a worker just to end up with only $15 a month. That's snack money. So not to sound ungrateful or anything, but $15 it's not worth it to be abused by a food stamp worker just to get $15. Go and all the stuff they put you through just to get $15 a month. So even with $15 a month, I would still have to panhandle and beg anyway. I don't like to do it. I don't want to. I wish I had my own. And Walmart won't hire me. McDonald's won't hire me. Wendy's won't hire me. Um, I've even tried local businesses. They won't hire me. Sammy Barker's did not hire me on 9 Mile. The Holiday Inn Resort at the beach did not hire me. Crabs on the Beach restaurant did not hire me. I didn't even get a call back. And a few other places. So nowadays, I inquire about jobs and they say that nobody's hiring right now or that they're not hiring because they cut back because of the fake COVID-19. I forget that's even going on still. I forget we have to go in public and wear a doggone mask and stuff. So, um, I think it's stupid that people listen to and obey somebody else telling you to do something evil to a complete stranger. If somebody tell you to do this to that person and you go and do it without question, that's crazy. Um, so let's see. So and and I was definitely when they took away my social security money because they thought I was dead because they lied and said that on my record my social security record they lied and said that I was because they lied and said I was dead because I told them to make sure you change my address to the current one on both social security and the SSI, and they still didn't do it, and so I ended up having to suffer. Well, once I left Los Angeles, Like I was trapped there for about 3 weeks against my will, and I was forced to walk around with a state ID when I had previously had a license in California, and they took everything from me, and I thought I wasn't going to get my driver's license back, but I was able to get my Louisiana driver's license back once I got back to New Orleans. And for the first and only time in my life, I wish I could do it again. Took the Amtrak. And so I took the Amtrak, and I remember having to I hated to have to do it because I don't like people asking me to use my phone. But I hated in dire situations to have to ask people for money and ask people to borrow their phone and stuff like that when all my stuff got stolen. But then I got my 500 something dollar check and took the Amtrak to go back down to New Orleans. That night was when drunk lady Yvonne, I had an argument with her, first and only time in my life. And that's a different video, different story right there. So then I was forced to panhandle and beg until my social security got straightened out, and I ended up getting my money back reinstated. And so then uh, that was towards the last few months of 2018, and then in 2019, I went back to working here and there, and temp service jobs here and there. They cheated me, messed over me, and then um, I was able to get my tax money back. And then I think I met sometime between 2018 and 2019, off and on, like when my money ran low or when I ran out, then I had to panhandle and beg. But I wasn't asking for much. And what I would eat was, I would eat the self serve breakfast or dinner from Rouse's in New Orleans, or I would go to the Riverwalk and get that I think it was about $2.50 small cup of red beans and rice, or I would get the $5 bigger cup of red beans and rice or something like that. But you didn't catch me at fake McDonald's. But I was there in 2018 when I was homeless on the streets, and I had another situation. I didn't realize that that was a gang stalking situation. That's another video too. So, um, so I would also live off of the $1.99 breakfast in New Orleans, or sometimes you can get it 99 cents, but you got toast, grits, eggs, and sausage or something for either 99 cents or $1.99, depending on where you go, and it would be very filling. And so I applied at that Melba's job in New Orleans on Elysian Fields. That man asked me all kinds of. He did me like Sammy Barker's, except he didn't give me a damn good meal. Like the guy gave me a nice big meal, in whatever I wanted at Sammy Barker's. But then he didn't hire me, and I never heard back from him. But this other guy, they ask you a whole bunch of nosy questions about your personal life that have nothing to do with work or your job. And so I didn't get the job, but it's like it was that white man at the Melba's place. He hired all the gangster ghetto people to work for him. He might have thought I was too overqualified, that I had a college degree. But he must have thought that me trying to apply for a job like that and saying I have a bachelor's degree from UNO, he might have thought I was full of shit. I don't even remember his name. And that Melba's place has some really good food and cake and stuff over there too. Really good food. But they used to perp me there too. Perp the fuck out of me. And I asked him, well, if the breakfast costs 99 cents, how is it $1.30 if you add tax? And they try to give me a problem with that. I just asked a question. But if all I got is $1.08, I can't get that meal. And in 2018, and I think probably to the beginning of 2019, I was living off of that. They used to scam and cheat me out of that Burger King. They had the 89-cent pancakes, and if you get the sausage, it's like $1.70, and then they try to overcharge me, and I used to have to get to it with those girls almost every day. And they try to charge me full price, and then try to falsely convince me that I'm still getting a discount and deal. They charged me the pancakes separately from the sausage rather than that deal, and then try to play like as if they didn't know where the button was for the deal to be $1.70. And then I used to have to get into arguments with them every morning. And then for lunch, I had to live off of the 10-piece chicken nuggets for $1, and then go across to Wendy's and get whatever any size fries. Of course, I got the biggest one. Any size fries for $1, and that's what I had to live off of for quite a while. Um, so I didn't realize it was part of the gang stalking, and that idiot, that 17-year-old child, gave me a freaking half a cup of frosty from Wendy's, and then he got mad at he tried to play stupid and say, well, oh, if I give you more, then then I can lose my job and get fired, or it's gonna come out. No, he said no, no, it's gonna come out my paycheck, and I said, I, so I called the manager, and so ever since then he been abusing me and getting the attitude and acting like a narcissistic abuser and treating me like I deserve to be punished every time I go there. And so the manager made excuses for him and said, "Oh well, he's new here. It's his first day. Yeah, his first day perping." So they got too many damn ignorant ass people in New Orleans. That that you're homeless and being gang stalked and being overcharged and cheated, and those same people will get an attitude about talking about, oh, you beg too much or whatever. They use that to justify why you don't deserve shit. But y'all saw in the other video, the previous videos, about how the Illuminati, like, I don't deserve shit. We don't deserve shit unless we join the Illuminati, and then we got it made. We deserve everything. So even my brother Sean was homeless at for a while, and was forced to panhandle and beg too. And there was a point in time me and Sean were homeless on the streets at the same time, but we weren't together. Like, I would be someplace and he would be like, I'd be off to myself and he would be, with the other homeless people, because I cannot stand being dirty, and I can't stand you know my current sleep spot here in Pensacola is clean and normal, so but they try to tamper with that and mess with that too and violate it. And I really this I mean, it's like I'm looked down upon and condemned and judged, that I've been blocked from, and I've said several times that I've been blocked from housing and jobs and anything good, blocked from trying to be independent so others can have more control over me. And then I just get the hate and attacks and persecution about all she do is complain and beg. All she do is complain. All she do is beg. All she do is beg, beg, beg. But I've tried to get my own. You know what? I was begging. When I had my job, more than one job, I begged for more hours. At the YMCA, they told me I worked so great, they would not let me work more than 30 hours a week. If I would have been working full time, and if they wouldn't have set me up and lied on me and had me wrongfully fired, then I was so close to being able to have almost enough money to get my own place. But the fact they want 3.5 times your rent, Me working a full-time job plus getting my 803 a month, that's still not enough. I'm on the housing list at area housing. They said it take at least 2 years. And they're black ladies who are extra fucking rude over there. And by the time I was by Janet, and it was in the month of April of this year, and they try to call me and ask me if I'm still interested. I'm like, what you mean interested? I freaking need it like now, you know? So I tried opening doors. I told y'all the stories about the opening doors in Catholic charities. And last I heard, no Section 8 open. And that there's no, and even if there was Section 8 open, then I couldn't use my voucher because they said that all the low income housing is taken up, like no space. All the low income housing is taken up. And so there's no low income housing, supposedly, from what I was told by several people, no low income housing here in Pensacola. I've even checked the surrounding areas. There's nothing. No, I mean, but you can have that voucher and still can't get a place. But, if you do get a place, I mean, a lot of landlords, even in New Orleans, a lot of landlords were ignoring me, ignoring my calls, and hard to be in contact with. And so, I mean, I tried to get cottage, trailer, or whatever. And they had a couple of this homeless guy, well, he said he was homeless, but he made false promises to tell me, or they had people who have lied to me and being like, oh, well, I know a trailer you can go rent for $300, and kind of find out they end up standing me up, or they end up lying. Kind of find out they lied. So they keep lying about these $300 trailers I can rent, or a mobile home or whatever that I can rent. It's not 300. So even if it was 300 and you want 3.5 times the rent, 803 is not enough. Homeless shelters want $600 of your money. And you're forced to eat slops for dinner. And you have all these long list of rules, and they treat you like you're in prison, and they exploit and abuse you. And me having my earphones, I'm breaking the rules. My disability is breaking the rules. So the reason why I'm staying here in Pensacola, the police don't hassle me sleeping on the streets, but gang stalkers do, just to harass and bother. But they're attacking my right foot with the energy weapons. That must mean shut up. The moment right after, that must mean shut up. But I'm gonna keep talking. Earlier I was talking on the phone with another targeted friend, and they were attacking my pee hole. Not to sound vulgar or anything, but they were attacking my pee hole with the energy weapons. And then I know I don't have a urinary tract infection or a bladder infection or anything like that. So I don't have a UTI. So let's see what else. I'm sorry that made the computer shake. What else? So I have no choice but to stay here in Pensacola until I know for sure that there's another place for me. That lady made false promises. It was more than one person it was more than one person who did that. But in person, that lady back in September made false promises to get me a place to live, and she acted like she was, gonna fight for me. Then next she went AWOL on me. She might have been a perp the whole time too. but she did literally help me with enough money from, I don't remember if it was 2 or 4 nights in the hotel. She no, well, I think it was. I don't remember if it was. No, I think it was 2 nights in the hotel, and some extra, a little bit extra money for food. And they at the other hotel, I was like no, but she said, well, the hotel, it looks nice or whatever. So at the other hotel, they cheated her. Like, how the hell you take $240 something from somebody and then don't give it back? And that, when we had been like, they double charged her at that other one. So it seemed like as if they did some perp activity for helping me out or trying to. And then when I, out of concern, I was hoping that she was able to get that money that she was cheated out of. I was hoping that she got the money refunded. And so then, well, that's the lady. She let me talk about my gang stalking experiences, and she got me a care package and just hardcore wanted to help me. And they were gang stalking and perping and following me. When I was in with the one headlights and everything, when I was riding in her SUV. And so then after she went AWOL on me, several vehicles was gang stalking me with a car, with an SUV, the Jeep Cherokee Laredo or something, just like that, same kind and color, everywhere for like a couple of weeks. So, I mean, I could have had my own place. She was talking about co-signing on a place for me, even to live in Navarre. And Navarre doesn't have a bus service. I'll say I know for sure Navarre does not have a bus service. So, I mean, she was wanting to help me with any means necessary. And now she didn't have to do it. But as I said, don't offer to make false promises and then go AWOL on me. Don't play with me like that. But if you don't want to do it, don't offer in the first place. You don't have to, but don't offer in the first place. Don't stand me up and then give me the runaround. But I don't know, and I don't even know if her being supposedly cheated out of the money, if 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 that was just a street theater thing and maybe she might have got her money back or whatever. But I just don't know. And so churches won't even help you. And churches even not only don't want to help you, but they block you from seeking help because they're Masonic sellouts. But it's okay for them to beg for your tithes. So all these churches and preachers who want to condemn homeless for panhandling and begging, but y'all beg for tithes every week. And then y'all publicly announce how much money y'all raised. Every week, y'all publicly talk about how the whole church was sending we got like $41,000, $41,870, $879.21. And it's like they not only go in these churches, they send people around twice in that one church service every Sunday, and sometimes on Wednesday night church service for tithing money. I'm waiting for somebody to call Joel Osteen greedy. But people are not attacking him. People are not really attacking money hungry church pastors because then they quote that touch not God's anointed. They're narcissistic scam artists who are greedy of filthy lucre. I'm just asking for basic survival. I mean, for all these people who talk about that if you beg, you're sinning and you have lack of faith and you're not content with what you have and stuff like that. I mean, I feel bad that they have some people who get five something a month, or they have lower income than me, but they have a roof over their head. But I'm so thankful, the fact that I'm like, well, no, since you get like five something, I don't want to. I said I don't want to do that to you. They're like, no, because I want to help. I'm like, well, thank you though. So, then, you know, if I was living off of Section 8 and not being community mobbed or deal with noise campaigns and the neighbors threatening to kill you for like when they blast music, wait till after 2 o'clock in the morning to blast loud music on purpose, and then you knock on their door and confront them, and they treat you like as if you committed a crime by knocking on their door and ask them to turn their loud music or TV down, and they had their TV surround sound, and you have to put up with that every day, and they wait till, especially like the night before, you like when it was 2018, and I tried to take a class on tax preparation, and I was sleep deprived, and I couldn't even pass that test. But it was a miracle that I passed that. I was sleep deprived, days of sleep deprived, and still passed the driving test, in order to get my Class D chauffeur's license to try to become a cab driver. So, nobody wanted me to be a cab driver. Nobody wanted me to be a school bus driver. Nobody wants me driving or having a vehicle. I guess they don't want me to be mobile. They want me to stay in one area so that they can control me. And I guess, that I guess if they feel like if I'm in a steady area, they feel like it could be easier to, that moment when if they want to ritually sacrifice and kill me. So, people might say that they hate a family member so much, and then like you're just crushed and shattered when they do actually die. You know, it's really scary, the idea that my my family hate me so much. I think that if I died, they wouldn't even care. Even if I wasn't speaking out against them, like they would shrug their shoulders, and or they might do something very cruel and laugh at me in a casket, laugh at my body in a casket. I mean, they're reprobate like that. So, and my mind is too tired. My mind and my body and my sleep deprivation is too tired to to do manual labor, and even with cleaning toilets and stuff with a bachelor's degree. I've done it, and I beg for more hours to work full time, and not allowed to. That the perps can have their full time 40-hour a week jobs. I mean, I could have used my ticket to work, Social Security ticket to work, where I can work much and as long as I want, and they not touch my benefits for 9 months. And they make sure I don't get to work full time hours, and block me from trying to, be independent. And I wanted to try to run my own business in New Orleans. They tell me I wasn't allowed to run my own business in New Orleans, or I wasn't allowed to sell anything. That you had to be grandfathered in, and more like, I mean, because before Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people used to sell stuff on stand on Canal Street and sell stuff, or sell stuff in the French Quarter. But now, only a couple of people stand on Canal Street and sell jewelry or sell those African stuff or the Rastafarian stuff that they sell. So, um, I wanted to sell natural products. One of my favorite food truck people in New Orleans was that I don't remember her actual name, but she used to love me, and her food was vegan. I think Miss Beasley was her name, and she was featured on the Ellen show. And every once in a while, sometimes she would give me free food and stuff like that. She would offer me free food and whatever I wanted. But when I first approached her, I thought she was rude and had an attitude. Because I love those little pies that used to come with the food, and I try to ask, is there any way I can buy extra pies? But she said no, because you can only get one and it comes with the meal. So you couldn't buy extra pies outside. But then she ended up being like really nice, and she used to love me. I missed that. It was on by the hospitals on Tulane in New Orleans. So I'm giving you a shout out, Miss Beasley. But her food truck was it was featured on the Ellen show, and I'm sitting there thinking, I hope she ain't sold her soul to the devil, But she was really, really nice, and I used to try to spread the word and tell people about her and stuff. I think she used to sell like beans and rice and smoothies and salads and stuff like that. It was really, really good. So, one food truck in New Orleans, I don't remember what it was, but a food truck in New Orleans, I don't remember what the name was, but it had I refused to go to that food truck because it had the Eye of Horus on it, and that was like pretty successful. Excuse me. So, and when I used to go to Miss Beasley's food truck, sometimes I might buy like 2 days worth of like 2 plates of food. And I used to be able to, when I had a place, I would put it in my refrigerator and be able to stretch it for a few, like between 4 and 6 meals. So it is easier when you do have a place, but at the same time, dealing with the noise harassment, noise campaigns, the vibrating torture, and can't get any peace at all. You're not allowed to have peace in your own home. So this is, I guess, I know I say a lot of stuff the same thing in my videos, but it seems like as if people intentionally try to not understand or intentionally try to ignore, like when I show proof of my college degree, you turn your head and say, I don't believe you got a college degree. Well, not in my YouTube video, but that happened in person in New York. So I don't believe you really targeted. But I show you a picture of the red truck and the one headlight. And I showed a picture of me confronting the perp about why you gave me a half a bowl of grits. I got that on film too. So it seemed like only certain targeted individuals are allowed to receive donations. You notice that? The popular fakes who already have cars and condos and shit. So I'm just struggling for base. I'm striving for a permanent roof over my head, but as I said, at the same time, I'm scared of signing apartment leases. But now I understand with this more with this program. I just know that they're evil and I'm being targeted, and I do have a right to have a roof over my head. But even when I was working at the zoo, I didn't panhandle or beg, and I didn't ask for nothing. And I was working part time. When I asked for more hours, Amanda had gave me less hours but more days to work, and then played all kinds of psychological games, and then turned around and said that trying to make it like as if there's nothing you can do to please me. I mean that nothing that they can do to please me. Now I'm always complaining about something. But they workplace mobbed me there too. So I have a right to complain about this gang stalking and assault, because if it happened, the ones would be like, all she do is complain. She's so negative. Try to be positive. Y'all narcissistic abusers, because see, y'all would have been killed yourselves. Succeeded. Y'all would have been killed yourselves if this would have been happening to y'all. I ain't the only one speaking out. Other people talk about their targeting too. So, as I said, how come it's okay for some celebrity YouTubers who talk about their transgender transformation? They can put down their PayPal and Cash App, or celebrity bloggers, YouTube celebrities who are already YouTube famous. It's okay for them to ask for donations. They have a roof over their head. I'm struggling to get a basic roof over my head. I don't care if it's a $500 a month cottage to stay in, and a 1998 clunker, as long as it runs. Damn it! I used to want new shit and the best of everything. Strive, but you know what? I mean, I used to be able to have, like, my my people used to make like my future was promising until after that situation that happened. And then all of a sudden, people started to be like, you're crazy and you're illogical, incoherent, irrational, you don't make sense, you're schizophrenic, you're this, you're that, and nobody's going to hire you for work. But before then, everything used to be people. Like, I was 12 years old and being told that, that you got as brilliant and smart as you are, you can be president of the United States. You know that? And stuff like that. Or, they acted like they were able to see me succeed. But damn, who the hell did I piss off like that? That now I'm being being targeted heavily because I'm scapegoated and blamed for something that was not my responsibility and not my fault. So, I'm not begging or panhandling in vain. And I mean, if I'm settled if I did have Section 8, I wouldn't have to ask for anything. But I've been still trying to fight and battle for my own job. But I didn't even know about the Instacart in-store shopper thing. If I do relocate somewhere else, I don't know if I can't go back to New Orleans. But if I do, I don't even know if I can relocate to Orlando, and if they might have Instacart there. But I don't know if they will hire me or if they would mess with my electronic. If I try to work and they try to block or stop it or play all kinds of games. So a lot of times when people try to make like they're being positive, but then they're not being realistic sometimes. They be delusional sometimes. When it's like you're not allowed to be realistic nowadays, and when you try to be realistic, then you get slammed and condemned as negative and stuff like that. But being realistic is not being negative. Being speaking the truth is not being negative. So I mean, fake. All these places. that, I mean, why would I want to go to fake McDonald's anyway? They serve human meat. Why would I want to serve that to people? Oh, you're negative and you got an excuse for everything. Why can't I do my own thing? I did try with my short stories and books, but that got shut down. So, as I said, I have to sell out to the devil and write dark horror and sci-fi and fantasy in order to get, and I'm not selling out. I just need basic survival. So, I'm going to go now for the night because it's 10:06 p.m. And I wouldn't be surprised if this video uploads before the next one. I mean, before the other one. And y'all going to be offended at the other one. So, you might be offended at this one too. But any support helps. The fact that I'm not allowed to go seek work. But I've tried. I'm not allowed to go seek housing. But see, if I were to go to Orlando, I don't know where to go being homeless on the streets, or if the police will harass me or threaten me with jail or anything. I'm not going to the shelters. I'm not. So, bye.